Hey everyone, welcome back to the Everyday Wholeness Show with the beautiful Janet Uribe and myself, Karen Stultz, where we help you understand what wholeness is, how we live with it, and appreciate it for all the ups and downs that wholeness does provide. So how are you doing today, Janet?
I'm good. I know we canceled, I think 3 weeks in a row or something
Well,
crazy.
we
Or
did have
three,
some issues
three
along the
days.
way, yes. And our magical tea party, poor Janet was not able to join us for our magical tea party this month.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on. And as Janet and I were talking about it earlier, wholeness affects every part of our being, every part of our life. And so it's good to understand. The more you understand about what is going on, the better you can deal with it as it shows up. And so today we thought we would talk about the Ascension symptoms of wholeness. And Janet, would you like to tell our listeners why we're talking about this?
Yeah, I just went through, and I go through one or two of these in various versions of this a year, multiple times a year, like a mini death. And ascension symptoms, when you're starting to awaken and your body is evolving and you're becoming less dense and your vibration is raising, your cells and DNA are evolving. I mean, there's a lot that happens in the body. And so when you think about this, like cognitively, you're hearing a knowing or something that resonates, and then it hits your heart. And then we're getting in alignment with things. And if you've not been in alignment with it before, well, then your entire body must change to match with what you have decided or what you now believe. And we're literally talking about reprogramming, right? So that being the case, I've been sick, the kind of sick where I actually had to stop, was put at a complete pause. And then my mentor and self knew that if I didn't even do the pause, it was about to be a lot worse. So when I say a lot worse, we go through this clock with our symptoms or our obstacles, predicaments. My mentor explained this to me in the best way. You start at 1 o'clock and maybe something's kind of a little chaotic, or you have judgment, or there's frustration in your life. 2 o'clock, you have anxiety. 3 o'clock, maybe something makes you uneasy and your stomach's unsettled. 4 o'clock, and these symptoms keep getting bigger, bigger, bigger. And then when you hit like 9 or 10 o'clock, you're going down. And at 11 or 12 o'clock, you are wiped out. You are done. The kind of stopping that, I mean, we're talking about like you're maybe going to have a massive car wreck, or your body's going to completely shut down on you, big things, cancer, like the big stuff, a divorce or whatever. And then you're going to start over 1 o'clock until you start to wake up to what's really going on.
You
So,
know, that it's so true. I was talking to a client today whose grandson, I've been wishing and hoping that he would come to this, finally looked at what his fears were, what his pain was, what his issues were, and really started looking at them for what they were instead of running away from them. And that's what happens if we don't look at what is going on, not dwell on it, not create anxiety and worry and everything else about it, not beating ourselves up about it, but just looking at it, allowing it, and making the choice. Do we want to go on this way with these worries, these fears, these anxieties, this illness, these issues that have been affecting us for our entire lives? Or are we willing to wake up and make that change?
yeah. And in my case, friends, and in many of your cases, I'm hearing I'm not alone. I
Oh,
will,
you're not alone.
yeah. I will wake up with anxiety or frustration or just judgment on something or self, and it'll feel like pain in the body. But because I decide, now listen to this bullshit. Sometimes it sucks. I decide, no, I don't want to stay here. So show me what the hell this is about. And I start being shown on repeat what it's about. But because I am busy, and I do have an addiction to busyness, which most of you know, I am in a place of breaking up with that. So I will be put on a complete halt, complete stop, complete pause. And I will have a huge revelation of what it is about.
It's
And
ultimate making that decision.
yeah. And so guess what? I get worse. So even though it stemmed in anxiety or it stemmed in frustration, we're talking about emotional. Once I'm like, all right, let's go. Now the body starts to show. But keep in mind, I did that consciously and subconsciously. But sometimes, we're not even consciously doing it. And the body's showing you things like fibromyalgia, or it's showing you, MS, or it's showing you something much bigger, Lyme disease, showing you a variation of things. And then it's time to start. So for me, it was the lymphatic system that was struggling. It was the entire spinal meridian.
Mm.
It was headaches, migraines, blurred vision, the ringing in the ears, severe congestion coming from everywhere, swelling in the body. Do you guys think I was just tending to one thing?
It's never just one thing, everybody. It's never just one thing. It isn't a set it and forget it, which is something I love, but it isn't always. It's never one thing.
No, it's not. But we're talking like excessive thirst. I think I was drinking 100 ounces of water a day. By the way, I'm just a little bit over 100 pounds, and I still needed more. I was fatigued. There was pain in the body. I had flu-like symptoms, no fever, no flu, but it felt like fever.
Mm-hmm.
Felt like flu. So the thing is, I placed big orders, my friend. Be careful what you wish for. My friend Karen asked me to commit to something, and I said, let's go. My mentor asked me to commit to something. I said, let's go. Myself decided to commit to myself for new projects. Let's go. And when you decide things that align with your heart, your body has no option but to get in alignment. And so does heaven and earth and all things in between, to get in alignment with your decision. So ascension symptoms can happen. And by the way, sometimes ascension symptoms can just happen because you've done just enough work, or you've come to just enough awareness that it's time for the new version.
Now, when you talk about ascension symptoms, we're talking about how it shows up in our body and whatnot. So it's basically what we're talking about is saying goodbye to the old to allow the new.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing, Janet?
Yeah. Yep. And the body has to go through its own death-like process. The body, your cells have to become a more evolved version of self. Your DNA is changing. Epigenetics is real. All of this is happening for you. Yeah. But then I'll take it even a step further, because right now we're talking about the wholeness of the body. Guys, nothing is left out. At the same time that the wholeness of the body is happening, so is your spirit rewriting contracts. Mm-hmm. So is your mind becoming developed and prepared for what's to come next. And guess what is happening here? Your external reality is also a symptom. If you have decided and consciously made a choice to awaken or to grow or to develop or to start a new chapter of your life, get ready for shit to explode. It is natural. It is normal. We are here to grow. You don't grow from just reading books and sitting peacefully, friends. I'm sorry. What makes you move? What budges you? What sends you in a direction? Being burned? Being bitten? Being triggered? That's usually what makes us grow. We don't typically grow in comfort. It's not the most natural thing. And if you think about how far humans have evolved and come in general, and how many new savvy toys and technology that continues to evolve, it's coming because we want the comfort, we want to grow, we want the ease, but it comes from there being a problem to begin with. How do you use the problem to grow? So how do you use the symptoms in the body, the chaos in the external? And there's something that's supposed to happen in these coming days, like between today, tomorrow, and next day, that will start showing you more chaos. More people will be choosing to leave. More people will be being, presented with illness. More people will be presented with either new opportunities or something that looks like a blow up in your face that doesn't look like an opportunity at that moment, but it is. So really stepping into what a lot of these teachers say of like, You know, the universe has your back. Who's that? That's Gabby Bernstein or someone. All things, the pain is also for you, just like the pleasure is for you. And you don't have one without the other, but you sure as hell don't grow as much in the pleasure experience. It's fun. It's beautiful to be in the moment. You're creating at that time and you're manifesting at that time. Similarly, you're deciding that when you're in pain. And discomfort.
It truly is, guys. It truly is being able to make that decision as to where you want to go. What do you want to do? I mean, honestly, you know me. I prefer ease. I prefer fun. I prefer enjoyment. And I look at everything as a growth possibility, because when you are learning, when you're learning about yourself, when you're learning about what's going on around you, when you understand the possibilities that are there, that is growth. That is growth. It is acceptance. It's making the decision not as resistance of, I'm not going to do this anymore, so stop it. Guess what? It doesn't stop. You have to accept it. You have to look at it. You have to embrace it for what it's trying to tell you.
Gosh, it's so true.
And if we don't, it's just going to continue. It's going to, you might be able to stop it showing up in that one way, but it's going to show up in another way. As you were saying, Janet, it's going to show up in your body, bringing on at the 11 o'clock or the whatever time it was. Yeah, 11 o'clock. It was where your body just shuts down.
Yeah.
It can't do anymore.
Yeah.
Because we've made that decision that we're not going to accept it anymore, but rather than facing it, embracing it, trying to learn and grow from what it's trying to tell us, it is basically just saying, nope, we're not going to play this game, and we're going to make you deal with it in a much worse way unless we accept.
Yeah. And it will stay in your subconscious until you decide to address it.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I had the cutest exchange with partner yesterday or the day before yesterday. He was coming in, moving a massive box, like it's something I would have never been able to carry. Okay. Man's much taller than I am. And I'm strong, but I'm little. And so at the end of the day, it was funny because whatever happened, I addressed him in a way that he said, I've addressed my kids before, short, concise, this, that. And he decided, oh, we're not on the same page. We're going to disagree on this. And I'm going to have this disagreement with you right now while I'm carrying this load. I am not moving forward. That is what I do. I frustrated with him. And I was like, you really want to do this now? You want to do this right now? I don't really want to put energy into this right now. Look at we're moving and you have a massive load in your hand. You have stopped. This is what we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
This is what we do to ourselves. So I was resisting and he was addressing something for himself and not offloading it. So think of these power dynamics. I'm telling you, one little 30-second exchange changed my life.
Yeah.
How are you showing up and observing your reality? Like Karen said, witness it, watch it, look at it to see what it's showing you at all times. Because it's not just the physical body. It is all things.
And the question that Janet has helped me see so many times is, if you are in a situation that is really triggering you, really teeing you off, really making you angry, stop, breathe 5 seconds, in and out 5 times, and ask yourself, what about this is so irritating? What is it that you're afraid of? What is it that you are refusing to look at?
Yeah.
And honoring the fact, and there is no right or wrong answer, but honoring the fact that something will show up. When it does show up, it isn't I'm right and they're wrong. It is because something is going on inside that we are not addressing, and we can choose to address it or not. But if we don't, we end up sick.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Love you guys. So that completes our everyday wholeness show for this week. And I hope you had a wonderful holiday. And it is going to be fantastic. It really is. I know there's a lot of energy out there, but that is what I'm sticking in the ground, is saying, yes, I'm going to make this a fantastic time. That's it. I'm going to eat well. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to look at the things that trigger me and allow those to seep in. I'm going to allow the flow of money to come to me. I'm going to connect better, more with spirit, and I'm going to enjoy whatever it is. And maybe clean up my environment too. That also helps. So, in other words, for that is being awesome. And that's what my choice is for the coming year and for every day. So until next time, guys, be whole.
Bye, guys.